Okay, so we got the Soulsborne mindset has ruined action games. Ooh, whoa. From BG. Okay, so what's going on with the Soulsborne mindset?
What is your favorite animal? The cheetah? The dog? Or for some, maybe even the cow? But do you know what the most interesting animal on the planet is?
Oh,
And it's not mammals, the dinosaurs, or even the megalodon.
ooh.
Game journalists, a peculiar species that have stunned and baffled scientists for generations. They are the only mammals to come from the pig and the snake family. Due to their filthy and disgusting genetic makeup, it is awe-inspiring that they are still able to look human and use human speech. And oh boy, do they say the darndest things.
Okay, that's enough of that. Recently, there's been a lot of talk about a certain
Oh, what is going on? The story, terrible. The combat, press the same button 30 times. Upside down smiley face. I think, okay, so I'm 35. I don't know what this means. I am assuming this means sarcastic thing. This is like synonymous with like sarcastic emoji or ironic. Something ironic happening. I'm just guessing.
game and how its combat is bad and too easy, or that it's a mash and slash. Seeing how game journalists reacted to this was annoying, but it wasn't all that surprising given their normal track record with reviewing games.
Crash Bandicoot has become Dark Souls? Well, no, because Dark Souls, you have infinite lives. You just have to go back and get your souls whenever you die, but like, if you die in Crash, you just start the level over again. But then, if you run out of lives, your whole game ends. You gotta start back from like World 1-1, like Mario. Is Mario Dark Souls like?
But seeing the general audience split between those who actually agree with them and people who enjoy the combat finally made me get off my butt and start working on the video I've been meaning to make for a while now. And that video is, people don't know anything about action games, and I feel like it might be the fault of the Soulsborne series.
Ooh. This is probably true because this, like, the Venn diagram of circles that encompass like action games versus like Souls games, they're not like overlapping perfectly, but they're not like completely separate from each other. There's like a little bit of overlap.
The Soulsborne series. Hooray! But before we get into that, we actually have a sponsor today. And no, it's not a
Nice.
VPN or a new set of headphones. You know, it's a game you might have heard of, you might not have, just a little game called Raid Shadow Legends. Raid Shadow Legends is a huge free-to-play mobile RPG. So you don't gotta spend your check, or your allowance, or those quarters that you found on the ground. It's all free. They've got over 700 different champions with different builds that you
Damn.
can try on them. With over 15
Over seven, like, I have been listening to Raid Shadow Legends forever, but like 700 characters, that's crazy. Is every game that is like chomping at the bit for some inspiration just looking at Raid Shadow Legends characters?
different factions you can choose from, over 400 million players in 190 different countries. They've also got 12 imposing dungeons to conquer, engaging PvP combat, regular updates, endless customization for different artifacts, team composition, and strategies. And Raid Shadow Legends is available on both mobile, desktop, and PC. There's also a new challenge coming to Raid Shadow Legends. A fearsome new boss was just added, Akumari the Phantom Shogun. This undead general is guarding everything you need for accessory ascension. A new feature that allows you to upgrade your gear to even greater heights. And if you've somehow missed out on the new animated limited series Raid Call of the Arbiter, then you can check out all 10 episodes on the official Raid Shadow Legends YouTube channel. With all of these new things and even more
That's crazy. They got their own little show
coming to Raid, if you haven't started playing it, then it might just be time to start. Use my link in the description or scan my QR code to get insane bonuses, like the epic champion Talia from the Sacred Order faction, and other useful things like energy refills, a skill tome, and an XP booster. So hit that link, download the game, and maybe we'll meet on the battlefield. But until then, let's get back to the video. Now Now obviously this isn't the fault of the game, but more so the players. And this mindset isn't anything new, it's been around since before even Dark Souls. But since its release over time, it's become more prevalent. If you're in the action game community, then you probably know exactly what I mean when I say this. The only kind of action games that get any sort of praise from reviewers, game journalists, and casual fans are usually Soulsborne games, the new God of War series, or games that to a certain extent follow a similar design philosophy.
What, Life of Pi? Or Life of P? I forgot what the name of this thing was. Like the Pinocchio one. Bro, everyone was saying that like this one was it's like a ramping up. Like in the beginning it's kind of hard because you don't have like any of your skill trees unlocked and whatnot. But then the more you play or the more XP you get, it's like you unlock more mechanics that in any other Souls game you would just normally have.
Games that are difficult for the average player, with a combat system that isn't all too deep but well done enough to enjoy, maybe even add a pinch of spectacle to that, and gameplay that forces you to use your moves, and you got yourself the perfect action game, according to Kotaku, and Polygon, and IGN, and Twitter, and Reddit. And while this is all fine and dandy, I think that these kind of people go to other action games and say, this game didn't force me to use my moves, so it's just smashing. Shows a lack of creativity on their part. Some games purposely don't force you to use everything that you have in your kit, because they want to give you your tools and let you experiment with what you have.
Bro, I love games that don't force you to use all your moves, because then I get to creatively make my own thing. You know, I'm still playing like Monster Hunter Wilds and messing around with a lot of the weapons, and yeah, you kind of have like some moves that are like a little bit better than others, but for the most part it's just do what you got to do to just kill the monster. Try not to take a lot of damage, try not to suck down a lot of megapots. Same thing in Devil May Cry. The game, when I played it, it was like kind of like moderate to like easy difficulty, but that's the difficulty wasn't really the point of the game. The point of the game was looking cool and being cool. Do all of the moves to kill your enemies. That's the cool thing to do. Make it a spectacle. Is that not allowed to happen in games anymore, for you to just be cool? Everything has to be like maxed out difficulty, and it's like, oh, I barely survived, but I just did the same move over. I jump attack with like the 2 halberds because that's super efficient. Like, there's nothing cool about that though.
This game is trash. It doesn't even let you properly min-max.
Can you min-max some fun? Can ya? What's the proper build path to touching grass? A game shouldn't have to tell you when to put the square block in the square hole, like the game assignment says. You as the player should want to experiment with how far you can go with the systems that are handed to you. But instead it almost just seems like people are just playing games like it's a job, and not like it's an experience, one that you should be enjoying. But when no one's there to tell them how to enjoy it, they get lost. So what they do instead is come together with all the other people who aren't thinking about what they're doing and combine like Voltron to give the exact same opinion every time. And when a new action game comes out, suddenly everyone's got a PhD, an MD, and an STD in combat, and they just have to let you know about it. I just find it funny as well because you can see what you're getting into gameplay wise during gameplay trailers and showcases. But people don't actually know what makes a game's combat good. If I brought up a game like, I don't know, Bayonetta, and asked what made the game's combat so good, what would people say? Would they bring up things like movement variety, freedom of expression, physics, weapon design, weapon switching, enemy design, dodge offset, or even the bounce mechanic?
And I haven't even played Bayonetta. Can I play Bayonetta on Steam? I don't know. Maybe I'll check that out later. But I didn't even know, they had bounce mechanics or dodge offset. I didn't know they had weapon switching or physics. Like, I know they got physics in the game, but like...
No, probably not. Even when Final Fantasy XVI was announced, no one really talked about the game's combat until around this year. And that was only because Ryota Suzuki, or the Devil May Cry guy as they like to call him.
Yeah, I heard about this. So like the community was kind of divided on this game in that for this game, because like Final Fantasy is like traditionally like a turn-based, like I go you go type of thing, or maybe it'll be timed with turn-based. You take your turn, but you better hurry up because the timer's ticking down or something like that. But like this one, the Devil May Cry guy came in to do the combat, and he was like insanely good at it. Like what was it, like one of these guys, I forget who, had like a like troubling time trying to do a boss, but he's like, okay, I tried enough, here, you want to try? And he gave the controller to like the Devil May Cry guy, and he's like, he did it in like 1 or 2 tries. I was like, oh my god, that's crazy.
Worked on it. And even then, when I watched other people's reactions online about the game after having this knowledge, it was never about the combat. It was mainly, whoa, you can like run up the guy arm? Wow. Dude, this is like game of the year or something.
What is this, Final Fantasy 16? I gotta make a note of this to like go try this out real quick. Final Fantasy 16, the DMC Combat 1. Okay, I did that on like a little side thing. Okay.
Whoa, jingle jingle. Now, one thing I can slightly understand is people wanting something harder on their first playthrough. But you have to understand that when it comes to this, it's not an issue of difficulty, but an issue of replayability and accessibility. Having a deep combat system is great and all, but if people feel overwhelmed by everything that they're given, then they just won't use anything at all.
Yeah.
Just look at Dante from Devil May Cry.
Oh my gosh. I haven't, yeah. Dante has so many weapons, so many like melee weapons, so many ranged weapons like guns and shit. He's like the most complex character versus something like, which is like the polar opposite, someone like V, which is supposed to be the noob friendly character.
Not the entire series, but from the 5th game. The
Yeah.
guy has 4 styles, 12 weapons, and around 140 moves with different properties that change whether you're in Devil Trigger and in your base form, and has 2 different kinds of parries you can learn and use against enemies. It's just a lot.
So yes, it's a lot, but how they can actually get away with a lot of this shit is that if you go and actually look at the button like inputs for all the combos, for all the like melee and range weapons, they're actually all just pretty much the same. You're doing the same combo with like the feety boots with the nunchucks. All right, which is like the same combo with the motorcycle. Like you're doing the same like button inputs, but you're getting different things that are happening on the screen. So that's how they can kind of get away with having so many different weapons, which I think is good. You know, you want to build that muscle memory to make the player feel like they're like super powerful and doing some meaningful things whenever they go to like weapon swap midair during a combo. That feels freaking awesome.
It's a lot. As a new player, if you had to learn a character like him while fighting hard enemies and bosses, wouldn't that be discouraging? And when it comes to replayability, oftentimes action game devs will add more to their games on higher difficulties. Whether it be new enemy spawns, giving enemies and bosses more moves than they had on the base difficulty of the game, or just more aggressive enemies overall across the board. This gives players something more challenging, while also giving them more to learn and a new experience to the game they already completed. They aren't like Soulsborne where it's hard from the get-go, and the replayability comes from your builds, weapons, challenge runs, or even making new decisions on your next playthrough. It comes from you and your willingness to learn and break the game you're playing apart. There are people, myself included, who have 200, 500, 1,000, 2,000, even 5,000 hours in these kind of games and are
Bro, there are like whenever I got done with DMC5 like a month or 2 ago, my YouTube started getting pelted by just random people doing beating Virgil every day, and they're up to like day 3, 4, 500, and you can click on any one of their videos and it's like a movie. They're doing like a bunch of different combos. They know the game mechanics inside and out, and they're using all the different weapons, all the different combos, and these are all like different people doing this shit. And it's like beating Virgil every day until DMC 6 is announced or comes out or something like that. And I'm like, you click any one of those videos and you're like, God dang, that's impressive right there.
Still playing them because there's an infinite amount of replayability, and the only cap on it is you. Which leads me into another big ol' issue. Game journalists and reviewers. You know that your first playthrough is not the full game. Why would you go out of your way and review it anyways?
Because clicks and money, or at least that is the logic that they have inside their head. Back in the day, it was necessary for titles like game reviewer, game journalist to exist, because nobody could vouch for any of these new companies. Nobody, communication amongst, gamers and like the general population of people was very small. It's not like it is today. So that job title was necessary. You had things like Game Informer magazine, back in the day when GameStop was EB Games. That you got your little free magazine subscription alongside the little membership card or whatever. It's like, it just comes with it. And then you open up, you look at the magazine, you're like, oh wow, you flip through and you look at all the reviews, you get to the back and it's like, ooh, this game's a 7, this game's an 8, this game's a 9, 10. And stuff like that was necessary because YouTube wasn't as popular back in the day as it is now. So now fast forward to 2025, and where communication amongst general population, casual gamers, and the people making the games, the communication is like very wide open. And then you have like your middleman, which is like your influencer bro trying to like vouch for the game or not. Like, I played the game, it's good, it's bad, it's whatever. Everybody has like their little favorite like influencer bro that has actually played the game, tell you their thoughts and opinions about the game, and you can like open up a VOD and watch them play the thing, versus some random game journalist that you have no idea whether or not they played the game, how they played the game, what difficulty they played the game on. You didn't know how long it takes. A lot of these game reviews for the games, like if there is like an easy mode for the game, they put it on easy mode in order to play the game as quickly as possible, get through just the main story as quickly as possible, don't do any side stuff. And they do that in order to be the first one out to be able to put out a review. And a lot of the times, the review of the game comes out, because what the trend is now with games is like there's the 2-day early access thing, and then there's the release date. Or there's like the regular release date, but then there's the 2-day early access one when you pre-order it, which is complete utter bullshit. The review for the game is out on the 2-day early access thing. So it's like actually ridiculous when you think about it. The review of the game is out before the game even came out. Is that ridiculous? Well, that's just how the industry is. That's the industry standard. I don't care about that.
And I get that you guys are all scrambling to get it out as fast as you can for the good likes and clicks and ad.
Yes, but here's the thing. No one's clicking and liking your stuff because the reputation of the modern day game journalist is just not good. It's not. Like, that title holds no validity anymore. Back in the day, it used to, but it doesn't anymore.
Revenue. Oh yeah, oh baby. But why not state that you didn't actually play through the full game and what it has to offer? It's not like it's gonna make people think less of you than they already do. The bar is pretty low. That's like staring at a painting and going, this sucks, even though you're standing right in front of it and only looking at one color and not the full picture. It makes the game look bad, It makes you look even worse, but that's probably not going to change anything because of money.
Yeah.
Yay, money. Anyways, said my piece. Game journalists are terrible. And if you don't like these kind of games or their combat, then that's fine. Just don't go around saying they're button mashers because you.
Oh. So what? People were just going around saying that action games are just button mashing games? Was that the whole point of the video? I mean, judging from where's the thumbnail? Where'd the thumbnail go? I don't even know. Button mashing. Yeah, action games are not button mash games. Like those games do exist. I probably can't speak to that because I simply just don't play them. But I think what most people interact with, as far as like action combat games go, people only interact with the tippy top, the best action games, the action games that get the best reviews. All right. So even though like maybe a game reviewer will review many games, both great, mid, and just bad, a casual gamer only is going to interact with like what they perceive as like the best, because why would they bother with anything less when they're already strapped for money? Why would I take a risk and gamble my money on like maybe a big old question mark of a game? It's like, no, if I'm going to waste like $70, $80, $90, I want to know that that game is good. So it's kind of understandable for some people to say that all action games are button mash games, even though that's like factually wrong. I guarantee you, if you try to spam one button in most of these like top tier action combat games, you're not going to get anywhere. But I mean, that's just noise. You just block that out.
You don't want to experiment. Remember people dunked on DSP and how he didn't want to experiment in Tears of the Kingdom? That's the same thing, except you guys are DSP. That's all I gotta say though, video's over. Well, I guess I can also do the YouTuber thing.
Did you know that only 5% of the people that watch me are subscribed to me? That's terrible. That's an epidemic and a crime. You're going to hell unless you subscribe to me. Please. Oh, please subscribe to me. Please. Oh, I need it. Ooh.
I'm working on it. Okay,
yeah.
I'm done. Bye.
Okay.
A lot of
Chill out.
What is your
Okay. So I think this video was good. All action combat games getting a bad rap for being button mash games is just factually wrong. Anybody that probably says that probably hasn't put in like any effort or meaningful effort into like any good like action combat games, and they're just talking just to talk, if anything. But yeah, I mean, that's just my 2 cents. I mean, I am branching out, and instead of playing just FPSs, I'm starting to branch out and play a little bit more like action adventure type games. I just got done with DMC. I had to get done with that before I played Monster Hunter, before I play Elder Scrolls or whatever. So yeah, I mean, it's a great time to be a gamer right now. You got like so much stuff to play. It's awesome, man. But yeah, good stuff, man. Keep it up. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me. I'll catch you guys on the next one. All right, later.